School days, I wake up at 7. It's weekend, I'll just wake up any time. Sometimes it's 10 o'clock.
Terri Calvesbert began life as a typical bouncing baby girl. But in 1998, an accidental house fire ripped through their home, leaving 18-month-old Terri suffering 88% burns to her body and fighting for her life. Nobody expected this extraordinary little girl to live through that night.
The type of injury Terri suffered is one of the worst insults that the human body can suffer.
The actual accident itself was quite extensive. It was mainly where she was in her bedroom. It was sort of ground floor flat. But obviously by the time somebody realised what was going on, it was too late and you couldn't actually get in there to get her out. The whole flat was gutted. But even the firemen, they didn't realise she was in there. They thought someone was in there, but they couldn't find her.
This is Terri Calvesbert at 10 years old.
I go to football on a Friday and I learn how to do football and how to play it.
Position, good girl. Wait for the ball, wait for the ball.
But 8 years ago, when she suffered 90% burns in an accidental house fire, nobody expected her to make it through one night. If she was going to have any chance of survival, she had to be transferred to a specialist burns unit.
Terri had an extensive, up to 90% full-thickness burn injury, which affected her face, her trunk, both upper limbs and both lower limbs. Unfortunately, Terri's fingers were essentially dead when she came in. We didn't remove them to start off with because we always give everything the benefit of the doubt, but during the course of her treatment it became apparent that the fingers on both hands unfortunately were not viable. We had to remove them. Terri had a very deep burn to the scalp and skull, and at the time of her injury the burn was down through the skull to the outer lining of the brain. She had the majority of her full thickness burn wound excised, and that was then resurfaced with temporary or donor skin and later on artificial skin.
Despite 8 years of reconstructive surgery, Terri is still left with a catalogue of physical disfigurements and disabilities.
If I go out, I will wear my wig, but if I don't go out, I won't put it on.
And then it's her feet. She's lost one foot completely from the ankle down, so she's got nothing there.
This is my shoe that goes to my left leg to help me walk and run. Without it, I can't run very well and walk very well. There's a foot inside my shoe.
Caring for Terri has been a full-time job for Paul since the fire. But to give him a break, one weekend a month, Terri stays with Alison and her family.
I met Terri originally through my job. I was a nursery nurse with the Community Children's Nursing Team in Ipswich, and I used to go in and do her bath and her skincare and put her to bed twice a week just to give her dad a bit of a break. Terri's a very humbling little girl because you kind of think, you know, I gripe when I cut my finger or stub my toe, and yet you think what Terri's been through and what have I got to whinge about.
I've got 13.
13? Well done.
How many have you got?
Not that many, I don't think.
OK, as you know, it's World Book Day today. I don't need to tell you that because we're all dressed up.
Despite all her disabilities, Terri attends a mainstream school and has had no problem keeping up with or being accepted by her friends.
The other children have been with her since, a lot of them since they very first started school. So they've known her for most of her life, certainly her school life. Terri's just Terri to them, you know, and they know what she can do, what she can't do. They'll help her, you know, just little things they'll help her do, stick things into her book if she can't do it. They'll put her chair up at the end of the day and they just do it for her with no question. So they really look after her well and just accept her as she is.
I'm going to draw an island there and we're going to put pirates.
Terri was so young at the time of the fire, She's never known a life without disfigurements. She's adapted her life around them and doesn't let them stop her progressing. She's learned to write and draw by holding the pencil between both her hands.
Things away and then I'll see which table's ready to line up. Right, so will anyone get 5? First, I wonder, table points.
Terri's independence has changed really since she started school. When she's got into sort of the infant school. Sort of a change overnight really. One minute she went in very shy. She came out and she was full of beans and she was telling me what to do. But that was good because then I knew that she was getting on fine at school and she was normal. Senior school is going to be the biggest. It's going to be the biggest change yet because obviously she's going to go up to a lot bigger school where she hasn't got the closeness of all the children because there's so many children there. It's a big environment. It's a different timetable. It's different activities, harder activities.
At 10, Terri is at a crucial turning point in her life. In the years immediately following the fire, the most important thing for Terri and her family was keeping her alive and healthy and enabling her to have as normal a life as possible. Now she's verging on her teenage years, when appearances become much more important and society becomes much less sympathetic to those who look different. Today, Terri's returning to the hospital where she beat all the odds 8 years ago when she survived the night. She's about to find out what plans Peter Przewalski has to reconstruct her body and face over the next few years as she develops into a young woman.
At the age of 10, when I see Terri, I'm extremely proud for her, her father and her family, and particularly to see the way she's risen above her injury. Right, now then, how are things? In the future, Terri's going to need further surgical reconstruction. We're in the process of reconstructing a hand. We're going to have to continue releasing any areas of scar that tighten up. We'd release the contracture, put some artificial skin or Integra in there, and we'd see if we could get that down as well. The scarred skin and the skin grafted areas do not stretch and grow in the same way as normal skin. So maybe you'd release this side first and get that straight, yeah, or straighter. In Terri's case, the skin in this part of the arm is getting a bit tighter and causing her some restriction of movement at the elbow. So at some stage in the future we're going to have to release that and put some more skin in.
What about her face? I know you talked about that last time, didn't you?
Yeah.
Whether to do anything with her nose and that.
I think she's going to need to be a bit older to do something there. If we make her a nose now that suits her face as she is at the moment, in 5 or 10 years' time that nose will be too small for her. And Mr. No, I think that's okay, darling.
That was right, that was flat.
Yeah, that's nice, that's okay. In Terri's future she will thrive. I think she's got the mental fortitude to actually do very well. I think her inner strength will shine through. We find that, you know, what's up here, what's in here, really does help people overcome their problems.
At the beginning we had these visions of her obviously always being at home, never leaving home. She wouldn't have the confidence to leave home. You know, she'll never find anybody because she'll be picked on. She looks different. You know, them sort of things. Now, we'll look back on it, I think it's stupid. You know, the way she's going now, she'll be, you know, she'll leave home at 18, I reckon. You know, get a place of herself, start work, you know, do everything normal. And that's what I wanted to do.
When I go out there, I'd like to get married and have children.
It is going to be tough, but we'll get there. You know, it's as simple as that. You have to get there. She can face what she's faced already. She can face anything.